So let's kind of get to an interesting one that's a little more off topic, but it's a good one for you to kind of talk about though. So one of the questions I had was about like what you're using to get pictures of the animals, like the cameras or the green screen, the lenses, because some of your pictures look like, I mean, they could be in Reptiles magazine. They're like really, really high quality pictures.
Well, I appreciate it. I actually like sell like prints of them at the expos, and actually that's like one of my best selling things there. I only sell them for like $10, but still people buy them every single time. Um, I actually, yeah, I'm gonna make you guess. I'm gonna make you guess what I use.
So is it a phone?
It's my crappy Android phone. Yep.
That's
My
crazy.
$60 straight talk Android phone.
Oh wow, I was gonna guess at least like a Google Pixel or something. iPhone.
No. It's all just about like lighting and angles. Like sometimes I'll use a shadow box or just like a solid background or something like that. But other than that, it's just getting the right angles and getting the crappy camera to focus.
That's
I
crazy.
take I take probably like at least like 20 to 30 pictures to get one good one though. I will say that. So
The
Hey, it all
focus
works
is
out though.
the
and
focus is
getting
huge. I got the Google Pixel or
mhm.
Google Pixel. Wow. The Samsung Galaxy uh S22 because it was supposed to have like the best Android cameras and stuff at the time, and it is good, but
Yeah.
it is not very inclined to focus on small animals for whatever reason. Like I thought maybe it was just the individual phone I got. I could replace it and stuff, and no, it just the autofocus is pretty
Yeah, and
tough. So I gotta remember to use the manual mode when I've got time more.
the absolute worst animals to try to get pictures of though is colubrids. They just don't stop moving.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's all
My
like
garter snakes were freaking out all excited because I was baking drumsticks the other day, and whenever I cook meat, they get so activated. They hope I'll give them some, and it's trying to get cute pictures of the two of them poking their heads out of the log together, like, "Where's it at? Where's it at? Can we have some?" And nobody was going to be both in focus at the same time, but you got the
right.
idea.
So let me show you. I just got this lens here. Ignore that. This is my other camera too. I don't think I can. Oh, you can kind of see it. There it is. So that
That's
is the
beefy.
that's the macro lens that Sony makes. So that is like their one of the two that are like considered their elite like macro lenses. And I've gotten some
Nice.
really good high quality shots recently, but I don't think a lot of people expected that it could be used for videography the way I'm using it. I'm getting pictures, but I primarily wanted to shoot like what you could see Nat Geo and like BBC America and stuff, and like I got to learn how to use it better, but as I keep practicing though, it's been, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the reels and like some of the shorts, but even some of the full length videos. What's that?
I said, yeah, definitely. I've been keeping up a little bit with that stuff and seeing a lot of the newer stuff that you've done since you've got, I think, that camera.
Yeah. It's it's actually very impressive because I'm just like a very beginner photographer. I'm not gonna even like I'm not a good photographer, but um I got devices to like help me with that. But what I will say is for video, you guys are probably gonna like roll your eyes, but I could actually prove it. I was gonna work for a phone company for a little bit, but the best phone for video is hands down, undoubtedly, undisputedly, it's the iPhone. And it's the iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max, not the 16. The 16 was kind of more of a scam, but the reason why is because Apple has something that professional companies use. So like if you watch Netflix shows or if you watch anything like Prime Video or whatever, they have a thing called Apple ProRes, and what that means is it's like high dynamic range. It's like it's competitive with anything that they're filming in like cinema, and that's on the phone now. So if you can use it, if you can have the storage, if your phone can like support it, because like there's different like storage for memory and stuff, then you will reap the benefits. And I do have a 15 Pro. I wanted to compare, and somewhat any given day if I just have a better uh experience, I could make the phone look better than the cameras. It's wild because you wouldn't think that, but I mean, it's not quite on the same level as DJ's photography, though. That
I really
chameleon was impressive.
thank you.
That
She's
chameleon
actually
picture is amazing.
she's actually like on Morph Market right now on an auction.
Oh my god. Why would you do that? You could like make a calendar of her and like some of the other animals.
I should, but
She should be January because like if you started off with her like
they're just like so seldom like bred in captivity in any decent amount of numbers that I would like to see her find a male that she can breed with somebody who has the money to put up for one because they are like sometimes up to thousands of dollars.
oh,
So
that's rough.
yeah,
Well, hopefully she finds a nice man to support her and they can settle down and have kids and move out to the countryside and you know
grow up.
she'll just retire from modeling with you, I guess. Happy ending, hopefully.
Right.
That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting you to say like green screen, like investment in like this crazy
I
camera.
Most people would, yeah. I have every single expo. People ask me like, "Oh, what camera do you use?" I need one of those, and I'm just like, and I pull my phone out of my pocket, and I'm like, crappy Android,
They probably don't believe you. They probably walk away like, "Oh, I
yeah,
don't know if I could believe that guy."
right. I mean, obviously, like I sit there and like I slightly edit pictures just like any photographer would, you know. But other than that, no, nothing.
That's impressive, man.
Well, I
It really is.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we can leave that where it is because if not, I could talk about a lot of stuff and it's not good. So we're gonna stay on topic tonight. I'm gonna behave. Uh, maybe at the end, but anyway, I want to get this in too because this is very interesting. You said you had a lot to kind of share. So, what species of inverts and amphibians do you work with, or are you planning to work with? I know you didn't initially say anything much of inverts, but you did say a little bit about amphibians.
Yeah, so a lot when I was younger. I don't work with a whole lot currently. I've kept a little bit of dart frogs here over the last couple months, which I've mostly sold off now just because not my thing. Little fragile things, which is just I don't have enough time and energy to devote to um things that are going to be like needing very, 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 very specific care. You know what I mean? So like, not that they're not important. It's just not for me at this time. But a lot of the stuff I am interested in is a lot of the oddball like tree frog species that I like and different toad species. So like I started looking into like crown tree frogs. I thought they were pretty interesting. A lot of
They're
the different
awesome. I've done a lot of those.
yeah, and a lot
Hmm.
of the like the fringed leaf frogs and stuff like
Yep.
that. Uh, um, glass
They're quite
frogs
the
would be fun.
investment, but they're really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't done enough research to be able to say like I'm definitely going to get involved in them, but it'll probably be whenever I am done with the garage and stuff like that and can start putting money back into that sort of thing. But because it'll be really humid out there all the time anyway, so I can easily have some rain chamber type setups out there that are pretty large for larger species too. So hopefully I can get into more amphibians then. But I'm definitely interested in a lot of the tree frog species. There's been a few toad species that I've been interested in. Like there's African green toads that I've seen floating around here and there that I've been interested in. Obviously, we talked about earlier the yellow spotted climbing toads. I thought they were pretty cool. Um, Trying to think of oh, and one that is used to be popular when around the time like when we were all kids, you know, like late '90s, early 2000s, is like fire belly toads that they kind of like started disappearing a lot more. So like I think I might be interested in them too. Back in the early days when I started as a zookeeper, they used to just breed all the time in our setup. We never like put them through anything. It was just they had like a little tiny running waterfall in there, so then they would just continuously breed all the time when I first started until they
Oh,
got a
they
little bit
do
older.
that. They had a just an absolutely insane breeding season this past year at Josh's. They were just popping out tadpoles so fast they were kind of flooding our system. So it's like, well, guess we're just doing fire bellies now, the next few months.
Right.
I think
But yeah.
firebellies would be one species that I would consider, even though I'm not really an exotics type guy. I would consider the firebelly toad as one that I'd possibly keep. I would have to throw that out there. They're pretty cool.
They're so easy to keep, and they're very underrated. It's not something like I typically like get into because they're really not that oddball, but they're just animals that are like slowly disappearing from the hobby. They're just starting to come back now, I think, but like around the time like
I
our middle
remember
school.
being a kid, they were everywhere. They were in every pet store.
Yeah,
And so
them.
cute too.
Yeah, exactly. And nowadays, I think they run like between 30 and $50. That could be maybe even more sometimes. I'm not sure.
I kind of
Yeah,
feel like
'cause
that's
we
better
used
though
to
now.
bring them in
Yeah.
wild caught all the time, super cheap, and then that was it's either banned or heavily regulated and slowed down a lot because of concerns about, I think, chytrid fungus and stuff, because they're
Yeah,
highly
definitely.
resistant to it. So it's easy for them to be carriers that are asymptomatic.